kwakunye nesideba esininzi esikhulu esikhoyo sabefundisi. Ndifumene okokubana ndikhahlele kwiinkokheli ze-PAC ezikhona phakathi kwethu namhlanje. Ndithi siyanibulisa, sinikhahlela ngembeko enkulu. Ndibulise usizanele okhona phakathi kwethu. Sizanele, you may not realize this. We only see you when we bury abantu bethu. Siyabulela kakhulu ngobukho bakho phakathi kwethu. Ukhona u-acting premier apha. Upremier wethu benengxaki namhlanje bethuna yekhaya. Ngeli xesha kusadicayidweyo nge-leader nge-representative ye-community okokubana sicele u-Imam Kasim okokubana aze ngaphambili and izithethi zethu sithe isigqibo sethu sisonke, not sikarhulumente, sonke sithe isigqibo imizuzu iyaba yimizuzu emithathu. Thank you very much. Ndizawucela ke apho kuloko neculayo ukuba nibe nomntu omnye ozawubakhona bakufutshane ozawumane ehlabelela ingoma so that wonke umntu akwazi ukungena xa kuculwa. Okwangoku kenza besithi lisabisithi United States of Africa. Izwe lethu iAfrika, izwe lethu. Ngicela sinike ke ngoku ithuba lokubana isithethe sethu sembeko sisadresse. Thank you very much.
Izwe lethu iAfrika, the divine essence within me greets the divine essence in every human being that is present here and who is listening in on the radio and watching on television. There are only red-blooded revolutionaries assembled and no blue-blooded revolutionaries. For Mama Sobukwe, as I came to know her since 1978, was a red-blooded revolutionary. And as the speaker before me said, that she met her husband, Robert Sobukwe, as an equal. And I concur with that statement, because it is not behind every great man that you have a great woman. It is besides every great man, there is a great woman. And that was Mama Sobukwe. I would also like us, men and women and children, to learn from this exemplary revolutionary. That she demonstrated that women are superior to men because they give birth to men. I'd like to repeat that. That women are superior to men because they give birth to men. In saying that, I recognize the greatness of Robert Sobukwe's mother, because she gave birth to him and nurtured him with the values and ideas that he had. Every one of us here is a VIP, and everyone who agrees with the laws and thinking of liberation is a VIP. The V standing for the very fact that we have values, not merely monetary values and exchange values, not merely utility values, but sacred values, which I in VIP stands for, number one, our ideals that we uphold, like Pan-Africanism, like humanitarianism, whatever you want to call it. And it also stands for integrity. I hope my cough is not deducing from the time I have to speak. And the P in VIP stands for principles. In Afrikaans, beginsels, that with which we begin. Mama Sobukwe, the revolutionary, began with the correct principles way back in the student years. And this is what attracted a like-minded soul at that time, her husband, Robert Sobukwe. When he said, education to us means service to Africa, he meant it, and today we still mean it. It is not our job to fit into the labor market, for whatever reason. It's not our job to embrace artificial intelligence, because that term, artificial intelligence, is as artificial as the idea of dehydrated water. A robot would not shed a tear at Mama Sobukwe's funeral. All of us are in tears, because we are going to miss her, and miss her sadly in the years to come. Mama Sobukwe, as a woman, had her rights and obligations as a woman. As a wife, she had the rights and obligations as a wife, which she carried out. Then as a mother, she excelled in raising her 4 children, all of whom I'm proud to have met. I weep with them in your hour of sadness, and I rejoice in the fact that this gathering here acknowledges her greatness. None of us could have bestowed dignity on Mama Sobukwe because she had inherent dignity. They say that some people are born great. No, as revolutionaries we believe that all human beings are born great. But they have mediocrity thrust on them, and some of them achieve mediocrity through their own actions. We salute this great revolutionary soul. We thank her for her contribution. The other fact that she demonstrated in all her years as a student, as a nurse, as a grass widow, when her husband was imprisoned unjustly in detention on Robben Island for 6 years, where I was not allowed to communicate with him during those years. But she upheld her dignity, and she understood the difference between a racist and a racialist. Racism is based on statutory laws. If there are any laws in this country still based on statutory racism, it has to be eradicated. And racialism is what you and I practice when we discriminate against other people through our own whims and fancies. It is totally invalid. Then there are those who boasted that they are non-racist. Non means not. You are not dealing with the issue of racism. Tell the Mombergs and the other racists who are tweeting the world about their position that it is disgusting that there are some people who now use the term black as an argument. The white skin was not an argument under apartheid. A black skin is not an argument under this new government that we have. As Marcus Garvey said, es doler. Robert Zondeni Veronica Sobukwe said in 1960 at his trial, he said there's only one race, the human race. We concur, all of us concur. Marcus Garvey, the descendant of African slaves, he said that if we keep on referring to our pigmentation, then our thinking will always remain skin deep. Panzi, racism, and racialism. We are therefore, when we say we are Africans, and we say we are Africans, we are saying to the world that we are both anti-racist and we are anti-racialist. That's what Sobukwe understood, and this husband, the great Mangaliso Sobukwe, understood. We are in a period of great change, but the world is bedeviled by what we can only call the golden era of stupidity. For we have the Donald Trumps of the world trying to bring down great civilizations, and he is now trying to advise us on the land issue. We ask him not to trump it, but to lump it. We don't need an American, any American, to teach us what oppression was under apartheid. We will tell them what it was. And it is our beholden duty as conscious human beings, as civilized human beings, to uphold the 5 definitive principles of a revolution, with the permission of the MC, I will conclude. The first one is, there must be mass participation and action. Nobody is left out of the loop of revolution. There are no elites. everybody, every human being has rights and obligations. 2, there must be a heightened consciousness of the masses, something Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe demonstrated at Fort Hare in 1949, and something which he implemented when he committed class suicide by refusing to be a black bourgeois and went to lead the march of the oppressed masses. Thirdly, there must be a radical change of attitude in all human beings, because we have factual problems which are solved by putting the facts on the table, conceptual problems which are problems of understanding. If we don't understand, we can't solve the problem. But there are problems of attitude which can only change either when you change your attitude or we change our attitude towards you. Our attitude towards the oppressors have never changed. The fourth important point is that there must be a shift in the power base of society. And there must be political change, which there has been. There must be social change, superficially there has been. There must be economic change, very little of which has been shown to us. And unless that happens, but all of that can only happen because unless we change our thinking, we cannot change our behavior. I salute Mama Sobukwe, her family, and all those who have made those great sacrifices. Isoleto, e Africa.
Long live the spirit of Sobukwe, long live. Long live the spirit of Sobukwe, long live. Ma-Africa, we regret to announce Obana Ngogu. We have taken a decision together with the family to cut the number of speakers. Sivumele uBishop wethu usilwa aze ngaphambili azosinika ilizwi senze into efanelekileyo kokubana icoffin yethu izinto ebesizakuzenza esymmetry sisonge iflag and hand it over to the family and allow for whatever processes ezinye ubazawuqhubeka symmetry, which means that we will now, after this, after Ufundis Bishop, we are now withdrawing one, the police, and we are withdrawing the other honors, so that we allow people to bury Mama the way they want to bury Mama. Thank you very much. Sizawuvumela le kwayara elapha ekufutshane ukuba icule iculo elinye samkele uBishop azokunika ilizwi.
Africa ibhale. Ibhale Africa isolate. Isolate. Ibhale kuthi. Cela izolo. Cela izolo. Isolate. Get control. Isolate. Cela izolo. Give Africa, please. Cela izolo, Africa. Cela izolo. Cela izolo, Africa. Chobi mimoya. Chobi mimoya.
Mandinitele ngembeko enkulu. To give one respect, sense imbeko enkulu. Sinika masuwana bakamama Sobukwe. Therefore, just a brief tribute for this moment. Let us respect Mama Sobukwe. Sinike the grandchildren a very brief moment. Please, Yatela, Mrs. Oris Nige, the grandchildren.
Before I begin, on behalf of the family, I just want to take the time to say thank you for coming today. I'm sure that Gogo is smiling from the heavens and waving down at us. This past week has been very hard for us all. Gogo's precious presence in our lives has now been replaced with a painful void, a void that cannot quite be explained. In fact, as I was writing the speech with my siblings, I really struggled to find the words that would allow those that have never met my grandmother to really understand who exactly she was. Because how can one define such an incredible character in a few sentences? How can one describe a woman that was the epitome of strength, courage, and perseverance? How can one describe a woman who sacrificed, knew no bounds, who always put others before herself, who never once said it's too hard? How can one describe a woman who only knew how to give, how to love, and how to care? How do I explain the humility of a woman that was never asked to be known, a woman who deserved all of the recognition and received none? How do I describe a mother that cared for 5 children with a love and commitment that many of us will never be able to fathom? Yes, Gogo had 5 children. My mother, Melissa, Uncle Dini, Uncle Dedani, Uncle Daddy Dribble, and this nation. The hands that bathed my mother's body are the same hands that fought against the oppressive system of apartheid. The hands that fed each of her grandchildren in the morning for breakfast are the same hands that wrote letters to the national government pleading for the release of her husband. The hands that held and sang each of her children asleep are the same hands that were torn apart from her lover, her best friend. The hands that were soft and tender as they caressed my cheek are the same hands that once led the distance of carrying suitcases every time she had to move the family to a safe place to stay. The hands that were the hands of a midwife, a nurse, who helped deliver newborn babies into this world, carrying new life, new hope, and new ambition, are the same hands that helped deliver this generation's freedom. The born frees were born into the hands of a woman who was our mother before we understood what motherhood was. The born frees were born into the hands of a mother whose umbilical cord was never cut, whose nutrients still nourish our own, who will continue to breathe as we breathe. The born frees were not born freely, blindly, or hazardously. We were conceived in spirit when our ancestors sacrificed their bodies for our liberation. We are here in flesh. We are here in flesh and spirit because of them and no one else. We were born into a garden of trees, rooted in African soil, nourished with waters from the rivers of Africa, from the tears of our families. As we sit under its shade, its protection, its love, leaves of the same branch, branches of the same tree. We are sons and daughters of an African family that will always continue to fight against white supremacy, racism, tribalism, classism, and capitalism. We are sons and daughters of an African family that will always reject violence based on gender, race, sexuality, religion. We are sons and daughters of an African family whose eyes are not colorblind, whose eyes will never be deluded by the falsehood of a rainbow nation. We are sons and daughters of an African family that will never romanticize the struggle or grow complacent with the idea of freedom. We are not yet free. How do I describe a woman that taught us that we do not have to just be women? We do not have to cross our legs and sit quietly in the corner as we wait for our turn to speak. We do not have to look beautiful as the price of our womanhood, confine ourselves to standards of beauty or femininity that degrade us. How do I describe a woman that taught me to be fiercely and unapologetically black? A woman that was more than just a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a freedom fighter. A liberator, an activist, an unsung hero, and struggle stalwart. But most importantly, above everything else, how do I describe a woman whose love cannot be explained but only felt? Whose warm love can only be heard, whose radiant smile can only be seen, and whose painful sacrifice can only be lived. Thank you.
Let me ask you to repeat putting your hands for that beautiful poem. And now let me briefly share with you the word of God for times like these. We are Africans. A moment like this is a moment to reconnect with those who have gone before us. There's a great cloud of witnesses which is with us today. They witness how we take Sobukwe home. So I'll share briefly, I will not take most of your time. And if you forget everything that I am going to say, remember this. God loves God's creation and never gives up. The book, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 41. Star differs from star in splendor. Ingwengwezi iyofluka kwenye ingwengwezi ngokukaqawa. The writer of this letter is grappling with something that cannot be explained in words. Is grappling with the transformation that comes from the heart of God who loves us. And God will drop that explanation at God's time, irrespective of any challenges and any chaos. God is waiting to hand over the transformation. The writer writes about the transformation that will happen to those who have left us, the resurrection of the dead. But he's writing to a community that says, how can that be? How can that change happen? Because the evidence that we have is that it is not possible that there will be a new life. The evidence that we have is that it is not possible that people will be transformed into something different to what they are. And so the writer picks up three things from the letter. The first thing is the splendor of the star. And the second thing that he picks up is the sacrifice. And finally, the writer says that it is God who delivers it. One, the splendor of the star. In April 2018, a colleague of mine gave me an article titled astronomers discover most distant star ever seen. And one of the scientists writes like this: for the first time ever, we are seeing an individual star, a single stable star that has not been seen before. And he continues to say, the star would have been too faint to view. It has been there. It has been glowing right from the beginning unnoticed. It was only when the scientists, the astronomers, found not a star, but found a new telescope that enabled them to see the star. There are those stars that are near and sometimes in the face, that sometimes keep the eyes from seeing the glow of the stars that has been there for years. And through our own, sometimes deliberate and ignorant faults, we are able to see the stars. And what we see the stars gathering at a distance, covering the splendor of the stars. The way of peace, the way of justice, the way of dignity which Africa longs for will only be seen when we receive a telescope that helps us to see the things that are going to come. And then commit ourselves to say, yes, even in spite of all the evidence, transformation will happen. There was recently an eclipse of the moon. I asked one of the person, why do we have to wait until it is dark for us to see the eclipse? And the person answered, you only see the beauty of the eclipse when it is dark. The painful moment of this death of Mama Zondeni, even in the painful moments of what we feel, different as we may be in this place, is a window that God is opening for us to reflect on the values of those who suffered the most for our liberation. It is a moment when God opens that window for us to take our hats off and say, we will salute this great mama with great dignity. It is a window that says to us, we'll have to take a leaf from the values that made them endure so much suffering. Painful as it is, God is, this death rather, is offering us an opportunity to remember the liberation that has come, the transformation that will come, will not be delivered in a plate, but will come through the telescope, which for the sake of time, I will move on and say, the telescope we have to use is the telescope of sacrifice. Paul picks up another example to explain the sacrifice. He says, a seed does not grow if it does not fall. For a seed to grow, there has to be dissolution. And what will come out of the seed will be different from the seed itself. There's got to be difference. And finally, we must remember that there will be continuity. Alumbona luyafaqala kuze kukhulu umthi ozawunika umbona. So as we sow the body of Mama Sobukwe, our hope is that something is going to grow. And it is not going to fall from heaven. It is going to grow from those who have known Mama Sobukwe, from those who respect Mama Sobukwe, from those who are going to say, we are prepared to die for this new thing to come to life. You all know that when Dr. Sobukwe left the University of the Witwatersrand, where he was teaching the privileged children asked him, how can you live such privilege to go and suffer with your people? In which he told a story, and I want to repeat that story which you all know. He said once upon a time, there was a hungry, starving wolf that left the forest to the villages of human beings. On the way, it met a fat dog. And it said to the dog, how come you are so sleek and happy when I'm lean and discontented? The dog said, I'm so fat because I live with my family. My master feeds me and he feeds me well. I do not have to work. All I have to do is to work with my master's children all day. They love me so much. Why don't you come and join me? And the wolf agreed, and as they walked towards the village, so says Dr. Sobukwe, as they walked, the dog noticed a scar on the neck of the wolf and said, what about that scar? And the dog laughed and said, don't worry. You know, sometimes at night my master chains me. But it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm not worried because anyway I'll be fed even if I'm in chains. And the wolf said, I'm sorry. I cannot exchange my freedom for chains. And listen to this. I cannot exchange my freedom for chains. Wait, it's still coming. I cannot exchange my freedom for chains and a full belly. For the sake of something new to be born, it will not come when we rely on being fed, when we give praise to full bellies. I am not saying anything, but I've been listening with interest in the current debate about the land. There is a refrain that says, you can't take away the land because we feed the nation. Stay comfortable in your chains and the full belly for good fish. But at what cost? At what cost? At what cost? So this window says, remember there are those who sacrificed. I know sometimes we sing nicely as if freedom is so easy. Freedom goes with sacrifice. And it is sacrifice that this disciple of Jesus Christ learned from the Lord Jesus Christ. A young convert is said to have approached an elderly priest, not me, I'm not old, and said, when is Jesus coming back? The elderly priest said, ask him. But where do I find him? The priest says, you'll find Jesus amongst those who have wounds. And the young convert says, but there are so many people with wounds. How do I recognize him? The priest says, as wash them, nursing their wounds. What for the one who does not nurse his wounds? but cares and minds for the women. And that is sacrifice. Contribution to the transformation that is coming requires the minding of the wounds of the other people. Because it is God who left the throne of grace, loving the human beings, and died on the cross so that we may have life and have it more abundantly. Without sacrifice, we may shout love, but we will not receive transformation. We need sacrifice. Remembering that the star that has been recently seen, not discovered because it was there, continued to glow even when people did not see. Continued to glow when there were no pictures of the star splashed all over the world. And the star continues to glow even when there are dark clouds hanging over us. It is for us that we must listen to the call to sacrifice and move away from the politics of the belly. And Paul calls that transformation, and we call it resurrection. And he describes it like this. It will happen because it comes from God. And it will happen like this. It will be like God taking away the perishable body and clothe it with the imperishable. And it is God who is going to do it. But the telescope of seeing what is happening is sacrifice. God will take what is corruptible and clothe it with what is incorruptible. God will take what comes to an end and clothe it with eternity. So there is no rush to chew and say I want to be in front of the Jew because this thing is going. The love of God does not end. Even when we kill each other, there are 3 people left. God will deliver. In the name of God, let no one hurt anyone. Let no one kill anyone. Then the saying will come true. Death will be solved by eternal family. Imagine God. Do you know what sorrowing is? Imagine God swallowing death, swallowing decay, swallowing the corruptible, swallowing the perishable. And then the Message translation says, who then shall have the last word? O death. O death! Who is afraid of you? Because even beyond death, that's why they sacrifice so much. Because sometimes death threatens us to sell our souls. But over Roman Sobukwe, over Manu Sobukwe, and many others said we are not afraid of death because there's something even better. It will happen. With all due respect, it will happen. Not because one part is bigger than the other. Not because one part is clever than the other. It will be delivered by God of life, who awaits us to obey Him and sacrifice our lives for something new to be born. God loves.
Thank you very much. At this point now, I will call upon the police to do your honors. by undraping the flag to allow for the draping of the flag of the Pan-African Congress. And whilst you are coming up, sizawucela torhwana ubana siphakameni sicule umakube njalo. Makube njalo, makube njalo, kude kube ngunaphakade, kude kube ngunapha, makube njalo, makube, kube njalo, makube njalo, kude kube ngunaphakade, kude kube ngunapha, makube njalo, kube njalo, makube njalo, kude kube ngunaphakade, kude kube ngunaphakade. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Ma-Africa ni na okay. Sorry. Proceed, Commissioner. Thank you very much. As we allow now, Joni, soja, police must now withdraw. Thank you very much, South African Police Service, and thank you, and continue to serve the nation. Sizawuvumela ngoku into okokubana kurepwe iflag kakikhofi likamama ngeflag yombutho wakhe nindivumele as I step down to say ndiyabulela Nqanana, ndiyabulela Thenjwayo, ndiyabulela Mkabadeli, ndiyabulela Mfenyana, ndiyabulela Dlakute, ndiyabulela Zilankatha ngokunwela amalungelo amakhosikazi nokundinika ithuba loba nami ndibe phezu kwakho. Ndiyabulela Sihlobo lakwa Sobukwe. Inkosi kakhulu.
Please. Okay, you can retire. You can retire. Dismiss. Just hold on. I'm going to Zimbabwe. I'm going to Zimbabwe. I'm going to Jonathan. Clearly shout. Mzee wa wakati Maafrika sizakulekezela iprogram yethu. Kunazo izithethi ezingekhoyo ngoku ke sawuqhubeka phambili. Uprofessor Gordon Zide akakho umuphithi Sikamani. Is he around? No, akakho. Ukhona? Ngicela uthethe nami. Ukhona utata umuphithi Sikamani? All right. Hang on. I just want to make sure that the speakers in this meeting are as called. Mr. Sowazi, ukhona? No? All right, thank you. Professor Bani Pichana Nayakako. Ukhona? Is he around? The first one is speakers. Mr. Laibon Mabas ukhona? Fine. Must move any together. Bendizawucela i-Matthew Singers bazikhona ke sisiqalele nendawo sikuyo. Matthew Singers, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you around? All right. Mr. Mpithi, cela usondele baba. Iprogram yethu ke iyasilela siyafuneka sikhawulezisile because funeka egraveyard sifike ngexesha elithile. Zawunicela ke Africa, like I said before, ungabikho bantu baza apha bazocula, aliniki chance. Tatu Mpithi, over to you.
Good afternoon. I won't go to the protocol, it was done the whole day. So I'll go straight to what has brought us here. I'm from Lesotho. When Umama sent from Umelisha, Udini, Udadani, Udalijebo, they were this small. They stayed almost close to 8 years. Their father was already in prison, but we were taught that we should treat them like all of us. PAC members came to Lesotho, and Lesotho, even up to now, luckily, we still don't have refugee camps. So people who run to Lesotho, they are spread all over and they stay like any other person. So Umilisha and they started in the river in the north, at a boarding school, then came down to Maseru, the capital. Dadali came, went to the Super School. Udalijevo went to St. Agnes where I was. But Udini, I went with Dadali, with Dini, and Milisha, and Dalijevo at school. Although I'm elder than them, so that means I went to school a little bit later. The second one, we have 2 points. The second one, we are grateful that Umama, through her difficulties, brought her children to the school. And that resulted Muti, the primary school where they went to, it's called Igizini Primary School. It was a primary school. For those that know Maseru, it's just across the convention center. There were some Norwegian, anti-white, anti-apartheid people who came there, found Abu Dini and us and I3 at school. When they came back to nowhere, Igizini was built. And now it is a community school. That we say thank you to Mark. The refugees of KC and others, some of them were unemployed, if not the majority of them or all of them. So then came the idea of making a secondary school to keep them busy because they were educated, keep them busy and then help the community. So the school started at the Fraser's Hall, that's in the old location of Maseru. From there, a site was bought. That school was named Maseru Community School. And then now it is Maseru High School. So those are the contributions that Mama made to Lesotho, although she's suffering, although her children are suffering. So that's the message that I brought from Lesotho, Milisha Dini, Dadani, and the younger ones whom I don't know. We say thank you for Mama's contribution to Lesotho. Thank you.
Good school boy, good school boy. Mr. Schoolboys Hall, can I invite you to the podium, please? Asikwabele.
Program Director, I think there should be a correction from now on, from this day on. I can't be schoolboy forever. Prof called me scholar, and so did Mama call me scholar, and so does Dini call me scholar. also the second correction I want to make, Program Director. They say there is African time. Now I am going to use Azanian time. I can't be limited to 3 minutes to say what I know of the lady here, because this lady and the husband went in pairs. It's too much for, in fact, a day. Okay, sounds good. However, what I just saw now, before the proceedings began, made me, I would say, happy to see that people stood up for their rights. It is difficult, though, to do it, because we know some of us would be victimized. I know I personally was shadowed by Stratcom for over 42 years. By Stratcom. I was followed for 42 years. We only found it out now by Auntie, or rather, to Winnie's funeral, where Fibers eventually spoke the truth. However, I want to go further than this, and then I want to say there is a poem that was written by a little girl from the Northern Cape, from Douglas, to be exact. The girl's name was Ingrid Jonker. She wrote the poem in her language, the kind, in English, the child. That was the strongest warning of what is happening today. The revolution is not over yet. As long as other liberation movements feel that they are better than the other liberation movements, we can't have peace. This is not what this woman fought for. This is not what her husband fought for. You know, when we came up from home, my 2 children are sitting there, Zodwa, who is named after this lady, and my son Mangaliso, Robert Mangaliso, who calls him the original Mangaliso. I don't know, Steve, you have a challenge there. Who is the original Mangaliso? Yeah. However, as I say, the poem warned them about shovel. This poem warns them about Philippi, UK. This poem warns them about Langa. But God, they don't have ears, they don't listen. Why I'm saying this, these gentlemen that are standing there, of which I am a member, they are having it very, very difficult at the Department of Military Veterans. They are treated like second class, I don't know what. Inasmuch as I speak now, the benefits that they were supposed to reap, they don't. It's the same as my mother here. That is only recognized now. Why now? Why now? There is this hospital in Kimberley that they want to rename after Sobukwe. Why now? Why now? In any case, we are grateful for that recognition. We are not going to just push everything from the table that is good to show them our humanity. We are human. We are human. Prof spoke of the human race. The human race doesn't know color, creed, or even poverty. But now we've become new slaves. In our own place, we are not emancipated yet. I can speak for hours. As I said, I'm taking Azanian time. Now, having warned the status quo, please don't play with fire. You see them standing here. You see them there. Please don't provoke them. Please don't provoke them. Yeah. Now, I want to go to my mother here. I was fortunate to know the family for 10 years. I was the first one to receive Prof in Kimberley, and I was the last one to bring him here on his back. We had a relationship with both Mama, Lee, this was a no-nonsense woman. What was there, which was right, and what was wrong, irrespective of your class and your standing in society. Mama, as you know, started working at the West End Hospital. And then unfortunately, West End Hospital, the matrons then were still white. You could have whatever qualifications are, she would be the matron. And the matron wouldn't give direct instructions and orders, whatever, to Mama, what she was supposed to do. She would send juniors or other people. We don't know whether it was fear or whether it was complex, until Mama went to her and said, look, we are equals, you are my senior. I need instructions from you directly and not my assistant. But she couldn't take it, it went on. Until Mama said no. She's very confrontations went out. What we call in Kimberley, there are a lot of Kimberley guys. She went on her spin rounds. Kimberley people will know what I mean. She went to Johannesburg. She went all over, got some merchandise to go and work and sell, so that she could be independent. Because the firm of attorneys where he was articled, I don't think as a black man the guy played the game. His salary was 100 rand a month. That time it was a lot of money, let's say. 100 rand a month. However, he was grateful because he could afterwards become independent and break away from which he did. Break away from this gentleman and start his own practice. And he did it very successfully. And then again here, I would like to point out the people that was working with him. Once more, it was whites who assisted him, because Prof didn't know Latin, and Latin was a problem at the time. There was Benjamin Pogrant, his dear friend, who assisted in getting these guys. I know it was an adequate handler who did all the paperwork to get him admitted to the sidebar. However, why I'm mentioning this, it is because they say Prof was anti-white, which was, I'm not going to say it's white lie, blue lie, it was a white one. It was a white lie, because that was what Stratcom wanted us to believe. So Prof was equally, let us say, popular in the white community, in the Indian community, and in the black community. In the black community it was worse. To go further, to just prove this matter, we had a cinema in Kimberley called The Lyric. I did shuttle services there from The Lyric Europe, bus, and whatever. Whenever there was a good show, Prof would have been invited. And the gentleman there was Mr. Patel. And here again, I think I've got to bring in some humor. That day, there was Margaret Sengana performing there. And then Prof in his seat was just, let's call it the Mandela shower, I'll call it the Sobukwe shower. And break he used to go to Mr. Patel.
I can hardly hear you, but let me tell you that South Africa has just witnessed a national embarrassment. I'm joined by Pumla Williams, who is from GCIS, who will talk to us more about what happened. Pumla, let me call it what it is, a national embarrassment.
I think it's a really sad day for an activist like Mamu Sobukwe, where we have found ourselves having to withdraw as government, and you will appreciate that this funeral was accorded a special funeral category 2, which then meant that the government was, together with the family, were putting it together. We put together this program as a way of saying thank you to Mamu Sobukwe. And sadly, we have had to withdraw. I think you will appreciate that the last part, which is generally done at the graveyard, we have had to push forward and do it here. The Deputy President had to leave. But I think the situation turned untenable. I think as you will see that there was even fighting that even went right into the stage. And we then felt that as government we will withdraw and we hand it over. And I think if I can use this opportunity to say that this is a woman who has fought, who have spent all her entire life bringing about the freedom that we have. The least that we could have done is to actually provide a wonderful, peaceful send-off. And I would like to appeal to the PAC as they remain to take over the program, that if they could do that and give the ceremony the dignity it deserves.
So far, it has not been a dignified send-off. Let's talk about the consultation between the family, the government, and the PAC. The PAC is accusing you, the government, of not involving them in the program.
You know, Pamandla, I think one of the things that we would like to say, and we've done it, remember this is not the first official funeral that we do. In everything that we do it in consultation with the family, because first and foremost, the family matters in these matters, and a burial in particular, the family matters. There is not a single thing that we have done without consulting the family, because I don't think it is fair to expect us to take instructions from the PAC. This is a mother, this is an aunt, this is a relative of somebody. So I think the last thing that we would want to do is to actually ignore the wishes of the family and take the wishes of the political party. I think it would have been unfortunate.
If my memory serves me well, this is the first incident of its kind to happen in South Africa where an official funeral is underway, it's chaotic, the state has to pull out.
Yes, I think as far as I recall, since I joined a government, this is indeed the first. I might be wrong, but I think this is the first one that we have had to pull back the program of the official funeral and hand it over to the political party.
So this reduces the status, the demeanor of the funeral service and the funeral itself now?
I hope it doesn't, because I think the official funeral tries and give that dignified send-off, because I think we believe this official funeral, it's a way of South Africans saying thank you to your contribution, and I'm hoping that the PAC will keep that dignity and give Mama, after all she was their member, and I think we're hoping that they will keep it at that.
As a woman, are you embarrassed that a woman leader who has not been recognized and celebrated in South Africa is sent off in such a chaotic manner as a woman now?
I did say that in one of the interviews, to say for me it is a sad day for the struggle for women. This is a woman who has made a difference. This is a woman who has made me to enjoy the freedom that I'm enjoying today. And I think the least that we could have done as South African is to celebrate her contribution. It is a sad day for the struggle for women.
Okay, Phumla Williams, sorry, thank you very much for your time. I can tell you that the PAC has taken over the program inside. What is happening is that they have dropped the flag of the late Mama Zondeni Sobukwe with the PAC flag. So the PAC is in charge now. But earlier on, what was happening before the police were withdrawn was that the PAC was saying they are not featured in the program. So there are many factions in the PAC. Now all of them, they want to be in that program. So government officials were saying this is an official funeral, we need one representative from the PAC. They were not agreeing on who should speak on behalf of the PAC. Earlier on, when we went to the church service, there were chaotic scenes when Narias Mloto was chased away by another PAC faction which said they did not recognize him as the president. So it is safe to say this has been a chaotic and rather a very sad day send off for one of South Africa's unsung heroines.
She's been reincarnated so many times. The names change whenever she's been needed. She's been called the queen. She's been called the mother of Tanzania. Not only that, but she had a perception that is the enemy, that she's been defined as simple a woman, that one nurtures and giving birth and raising children. But because of she's an African daughter, when I give respect to her, I called the daughter of the soil. My reasons are simple. She's coming from this land. The daughter of the soil that I'm talking about, Umama Sobukwe, Niyamazi, Uloke, Amadabusha, Fucking whatever. Andithethe ngalo mntu ungaziwayo, ndithetha ngoba hambe kuba oxhela kakabuzwa, ndithetha ngozithonga ezibhakala zibe ngamabhuze endodeni, ndithetha ngalo mntu womthonyama kuba kaloku yena uxhamlele inkululeko yelizwe, batsho besindo besithi izwe lethu, yi-Afrika.
Over to you, Mamuli Buhang Peg.
Sons and daughters of the Azania soil, presidents and past presidents of the Pan-Africanist Congress, veterans, current and past leadership, women of struggle in all realms, the Sobukwe family, the Mate family, Yalimelisa, Kirihalala, Me Waruna, Albeti Monana, Hawarohana, Usasanona Irona, Africa, sons and daughters of Tanzania. When we speak about Sobukwe, we speak of a woman, a warrior, a fighter, who represents everything that is noble, that is great in humanity. She is a metaphor. She is the reason that so many things are uncomfortable for the official narrative. She challenges us to remember that there are many ways to remember, that there are many methods of struggle, that there are many schools of thought. She helps us to liberate the truth. She helps us to liberate African lives. Sobukwe in the depth of, they haven't died once, they have died many, many times. They have died every time on March 21st, when there is a commemoration and nobody mentions their names. They have died many times. When another bridge, another statue, another freeway is named after other people. They have died many times. When we talk about human rights, instead of recognizing the Sharpeville massacre. Sobukwe stands head and shoulders above the mediocrity of mainstream history. I want to remind us, Africa, Azania, that she is not an accessory. She is not a pair of earrings on the windows of history. She is a co-creator, a co-architect of our story, this story, her story. Sobukwe understood this when she co-created the anti-past campaign. She understood that there can be no liberation without land, without dignity, without absolute self-determination. You can have your democracy. I need self-determination. Sobukwe understood that using African labor and policing black labor for the project of capital was an affront to African humanity. This is far beyond human rights. This is far beyond the banality of weak human rights. It is a question of power. It is a question of sovereignty. It is a question of liberation. Zondeni Sobukwe stood in tandem with the many who have migrated from rural to urban areas, seeking economic power, seeking to exercise their full humanity. This was not a leaderless movement. This was a movement where women understood their own power and they claimed their own power, and we stand on the shoulders of women like Zondeni Veronica Sobukwe. She stood shoulder to shoulder with the women who 63 years ago marched and took their confrontation to the very seat of power. We have to remember them as powerful warriors and soldiers. They cannot be stripped of their revolutionary significance without depth, without context, without any individuality. They understood that this was a war for self-determination, for full citizenship, for full being. This goes far beyond the lazy, disgraceful analysis of wifing and mothering. That is the politics of relegation. That is the politics of treating women as though they are earrings and accessories and not change makers and history makers. She was not a bridesmaid to his story, but she was a key architect of our story and her story. Like Victoria Mehlomakulu, like Nomboy Boy, like Loretta Novo, like Elizabeth Sibeko, like Bibi Motubing, like Ntiwa Peko, like so many others. She was an architect and a co-creator. Women all over Africa, the global south, the world, we are continuously pursuing our social, our cultural, our political, our economic liberation. And we began to do so long before masculine power party structures, which relegated many women's struggles into tight corners and into glorified catering departments. No. And even while women such as Ms. Sobukwe took their places in anti-colonial struggle, the fact is that women have actively joined and fought for various African liberation movements. And this is an intent. This is an African intent. This is an Africanist intent. This goes counter to the idea that African women are hampered by restrictive so-called cultural and social practices. In fact, African women are the flames of liberation. We are the flames of power. We are the igniters of transformation. There can be no liberation without African women at the center of that liberation. You can take it, you can leave it, injalo. I want to also quote something that I wrote about her and about memory. Because as we have been trying to excavate and deconstruct the mono-narrative, the official narrative, I want to remind us that memory is an act of defiance. Because erasure is the instinct of conquest. It is important that we are ethical. We have to be truthful in our interpretation of the past, and truth has become a scarce currency in today's South Africa. This is because the official archives and accounts of political exploits and the historical context of apartheid colonialism are constructed to privilege partisan political interests. They are designed to erase and diminish the wrongdoing of former oppressors and turn multiple party political experiences into an enemy of history. So the act of remembering is nourished by deliberate and vigilant consciousness that is anchored by a strong ethical framework. It has to be removed from party political claims that clutter the national discourse and continually vandalize our history. Erasure is the process of making anything that is counter the national official narrative disappear from history. If there was anybody who was erased in the most disgraceful way, it is a shocking thing that many of us were introduced to Sobukwe after she passed. We had all the time to speak to her, to dialogue with her, to discourse with her, to put her contribution on the official school curriculum, to remember her, to name statues after her, to name monuments after her. We did nothing. And this is typical of this narrative of relegation. So we want to focus on Zondeni Hector Peterson and ignore his sister Antoinette, who was also a student protester. We ignore Hemina Deroge, who was shot on June 17th, among many other young women. Peripheralizing women in struggle is an ongoing act of violence, and it is a further brutalization. The instruments of finding truth and democratizing memory are the ones that we have to form. Memory is not static, it's not singular. It doesn't belong to one person, it doesn't belong to one movement, it does not belong to one ideology. Memory is us. We remember, and now that we have seen, we will never unsee. Now that we have spoken, we can never unspeak. Now that we have recalled, we can never ever unrecall. These canons have to be complete. We cannot treat memory as a product. We cannot treat Sobukwe as cheap products of official history. We cannot treat our stories as commodities to be bought and sold to the lowest or the highest bidder. And we cannot keep on dispossessing our own legacy, our own history, dispossessing women and airbrushing anything that is not state-led in its interpretation of history. I want to close by talking about who we must become. I will become the one who lived in the loud silence. I will become the one who dreamt of liberation and breathed freedom. I will become the one whose name is feared and whose gaze is avoided. I will become the most vocal, though voiceless, the most tangible, though unseen. I will become a woman to be reckoned with and a memory that can never be erased. I will become a monument that is not named through highways and byways, but through the acts of sheism and fearlessness. I will become the one who cannot be bought or sold like a trinket of man's history and state officialdom. I will become the one who lives with intent, fights with consistency, and transitions with honor. I will become the one who is a deliberate soldier, armed with conviction, not an accidental tourist or plunderer of a narrow and parochial history. I will become the image of creation. Behold my beautiful countenance and my steadfast glory. I will become the one who is most loved, although not heard, the one who is known, although not written, the one who is remembered, but not seen. I will become Zondeni Veronica Sobukwe. Mobu! 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 Saba! Saba! Saba!
I have to ask you, I have to make a special request. Dr. Huber is not that very well. With your permission, I'm referring to the speakers in front of him. Can I call Dr. Huber to come so that he can be able to go and retire? Dr. Huber? Dr. Zondeni Huber. Thank you. Former President of the PAC, one of our veterans, advisors, over to you.
Program Director, all our leaders, state, political, party, community, family. I just want to say that God works in a very unusual way. It was not long ago, I left this country to go and study in England. And when I was there, I got the news that our father had passed on. I was absolutely shaken. I couldn't come down immediately. And I want to say I watched that funeral on television. And as usual, sometimes on television you see more things than the people who are in the hall. I saw all the things that were happening at that funeral. And I was shaken. I was very, very angry about what I saw there. The turmoil and the absolute disrespect for Sobukwe. Then I came back home. And when I was back home here, my coming back coincided with the unveiling of the tombstone of Prof. And I decided that it doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to move, it doesn't matter from where, but I must go to Ukraine. And that's what I did. I moved and came to Ukraine and took part in the unveiling of the tombstone and blessed the tombstone of Prof. Now, there are very many stories that I can tell about Mama Kwetu and Prof. But I just want to say that all in all, I have compiled a very big file on Prof and Mama at home. And also, during that unveiling of the tombstone, we had a photographer called Koza who took very wonderful historic pictures. And he gave me a copy of that album. I thought I would bring it here, but I was still trying to wonder who I could give to, because I don't want those records to disappear. Whoever get them must look up to them because it is history. I just want to say also, I recall I made to Mtata, the college, the theological college that I was teaching at, was closed by the government. And we were forced to move to Mtata. And when we were there, I heard that Prof was around somewhere there. What was he doing there? He was visiting his brother, Bishop Sobukwe, the Anglican Church. So I got very close. And because I got very close, I was able to hear directly from him one or two things. But I didn't realize that in a way he was actually preparing me for something that I didn't know, which was the leadership of the PNC later on. I also recall my visit to Kimberley, where I visited Umama and the home there in Kimberley. And I saw how she was living there alone. But I was also moved because I went to the church, the Methodist church in Kimberley. And when I went to the Methodist church in Kimberley, I was amazed by the warmth that I found there when I mentioned his name there. They even showed me his chair, but he said on this chair. So I said, that's so, yes. Can I sit on it for a while? He said, yes, you can sit on it for a while. I sat on that chair on this woman's floor. One of the great things about Sobukwe was his ability to speak many languages. And in that case, I'm told that he would preach in Sutu, he would preach in Xhosa, in Zulu, in Afrikaans, and in English. So any preacher from anywhere who wanted to be an interpreter, he was there to help him. That was the day that he was. I also want to recall one North African Robben Island. Robben Island. Robben Island, that's where, as you know, I also went. I was forced to go there. I didn't visit. I was taken there by force. But I just want to say that when we went to Robben Island, there was a board which always told us how many prisoners were there in prison. And then on that board, they had +1. +1 was Sobukwe. So each time we saw +1, we knew he was still around and that he was there. And I just want to say that +1 was more than +1, it was +1 million. But also, I recall how one day I called a meeting of the National Executive of the PAC and we met in Robben Island. After the meeting, we called a press conference. We decided that this press conference must take place at Sobukwe's house. So we went there and had this press conference at Sobukwe's house. But I just want to say that it's remarkable that you never know where you'll end up in history. You start somewhere, but you never know where you're going to end. You're a prisoner on Robben Island, but later on, you'll be addressing a press conference in front of Sobukwe's house. But I just want to say, in conclusion, that as a party, as a political party, we could have done more for the Sobukwe family, for Mama and the family. We could have done more. I want to say, as a nation, we could have done more for the Sobukwe family. We didn't do that. I want to say the South African government, which was also guilty for bringing about a special law called the Sobukwe Clause, which meant that even after finishing his sentence in Stockholm prison, he would be taken to Robben Island for 6 years for having done nothing. 6 years. And that every year they would pass a law, a special Sobukwe Clause, to keep him there for a year. Why? Because they were afraid of him. If you read the debate in Parliament about those laws, you'll hear how afraid they were of Sobukwe. He was the most feared man in South Africa. And so there was this law that he must put there. The question why was he feared? Why was he feared? I want to give you one answer, which is because of land. Because of land. He had to be kept in prison because of land. Which is why, in effect, when many people talk about policies like land today, they don't even acknowledge that there were people before them who spoke about land. And I want to say that this question of land should really be visited and handled with care, because it's historic and it is the answer to our peace in this country, for peace and our salvation in this country. Again, I want to say that we owe it to Mama Sobukwe and the PhD and other Prof to bring back unity to the PhD. We owe it to them. PhD, it's a shame that we have 2 seats in Parliament. The oldest party, the one that should really be having 100 seats, there's 2 seats in Parliament. So I want us to sit down and really work it out. Now you can't do a miracle of getting increasing the seats there without working. We must work hard. And to honor Mama Sobukwe, who lived so many years without a husband, and also the children, Melissa and others, to honor them, we must work hard. And come 2019, we must have more than 20 seats in Parliament. That would be the way of honoring our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fuwa. I'm just going to call 2 people in succession. I want to call to the podium Usisinteki Biko, followed by Professor Shabalala.
Uyofika likhona kaebi zamakhamakawe ngabela uyofika likhona kobanjani asihleli nawo sesibuka sibuka namandlebe zakhe abhaliwe makhamakawe ngabela uyofika likhona abhaliwe makhamakawe ngabela uyofika likhona.
Imani yetu kisa yena. Yana ndani tulonda
a tribute to our mother of the nation, an extraordinary woman who passed away on this important month of the Women's Month. Please read. In Africa, one Tanzania, one nation. It goes. Kulisa, Bishop, clergy zethu. Baba lokusendile ontanga ngoku. Ndithi ndawugqiba ndithi allow me program director to say protocol observed. I greet you all as we gather here today on this sad occasion. I express my deepest condolences to the family of Mama Sobukwe. They were also indeed sad that we lost a mother like her. I also bring greetings from my family, the Steve Biko family in King Livingston. I brought my kids along there. I'm hoping that they're still there. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, the rest of the family couldn't be here today because one of my sons, because not his wife has lost an aunt. They are attending that funeral as I'm speaking. Being here at Rafrinage today to attend this funeral of this wonderful woman takes my mind back to the days when we buried our leader, our father, Tata Obat Mama Sobukwe, on the 11th of March 1978. We traveled from King Livingston with other members of the Black Consciousness movement to attend the funeral and pay our respects. It was one of those sad moments. When you lose a father, it's not easy. But today we're talking about losing a mother. It's even worse. We all remember that this sad day was not long after I had buried Steve. So I was still in mourning. So there I was, younger than Mama Sobukwe, having to speak to her on that sad day. And I remember on that day of the grief, reflecting on how suddenly Mama Sobukwe and I had become widows. So suddenly, such a short space of time, we were both widows, and together we were also sharing the sorrowful experience of losing our husbands, who had both been leaders in the struggle for freedom. Even before their physical deaths, our husbands had been taken away from us in prison or in detention, and taken away from our society under many orders. Such was life in apartheid South Africa. The passing of Mama Sobukwe has made me think again about how life has brought us together in many such shared experiences. She was in the nursing profession. I also was in the nursing profession. We both met and married brave political activists. Mama Sobukwe experienced many hardships when her husband was sentenced to spend 3 years in prison, and after that was kept in solitary confinement on Robben Island for an additional 6 years under the infamous Sobukwe clause. Although he was released from prison and sent to Kimberley under house arrest and banning orders until his death in 1978, Tata Sobukwe was, in fact, never truly released. My own experience was to some extent compared with that of Mama Sobukwe, because Steve was banned
and was frequently in detention until his death in 1977. So this was indeed a time of suffering. Suffering we shared with Mama Sobukwe, a deep anguish that we both understood. While our husbands were in jail and under banning orders, we had to raise our children. Mama Sobukwe's children might have been older than mine, but raising children is raising children. Oh Mama, our single either widows or our single, so we shared that experience of raising our children while our husbands were persecuted until their deaths. And we had to persevere in raising our children in those difficult times. As God-fearing women, and with God beside us, we did indeed raise our children. Being here again brings me back other memories. A few years ago, I and a friend of mine, Uyolisa Saw, the then university librarian at the University of Fort who passed away, may her soul rest in peace. We visited Mama Sobukwe here in Frankfurt. This visit was just a happy, treasured memory. It was simply a loving visit to our mother. We brought special treats, nice goodies that we all enjoyed and we talked about everything. We also had lunch together, and in short, we had a really lovely time and we were so happy to be together. As I remember my close friendship with Mama Sobukwe, I also want to mention my husband's connection with Dada, Robert Sobukwe. Steve looked up to Dada Sobukwe as his group. He was awed by their sacrifice, and in his struggle he was continuing with their tradition. He carried on their work while they were silenced through imprisonment and banning orders. A black consciousness leader, Dr. Sobukwe, said, I quote, Sobukwe was viewed as a very significant national leader.
I'm sorry, my volume is low, we can't hear. We're competing with this
as well as an immediate
please,
in leadership, and in creating a very necessary national unity. His opinions were solicited, and in fact, his encouragement and blessings were received. He was seen as one of the progenitors, one of the key leaders in the run-up to the development of black consciousness. BC leaders often visited Sobukwe in defiance of his banning orders. I'm sure some of the BC leaders who are here today, I can see my brother there, Badi Bichara, and Dr. Aubrey Ngwabe. On the same line of thought, the great author Ngugi wa Thiong'o said, I quote, one associates Sobukwe and people with consciousness. I also want to mention that although Tata Sobukwe was banned and my husband was also banned, which meant that a meeting between them was illegal. They did meet, and they had also other ways of keeping in touch. There was something called coding those days, so that security police wouldn't understand what you were talking about. Steve once walked into a room and found unexpectedly that Robert Sobukwe was there. Surprised and overwhelmed by the sight of Robert Sobukwe, he exclaimed, Chini, Notikula. What? Even God is here. Steve used these words because he respected Dr. Sobukwe so much. By working through the Black Consciousness movement, Steve was building and expanding on the work of Dr. Sobukwe, thus defeating the restrictions placed on Sobukwe. The PAC's presence in Ginsberg and within the legal home through Steve's brother, Kai, who was secretary of the underground Pan-Africanist Congress cell in Ginsberg, made a significant impact on Steve. As part of the activities of the Steve Legal Foundation, we decided that it was important that we assist in memorializing Robert Sobukwe, who thus partnered with the University of Fort Hare in organizing annual Robert Sobukwe Memorial Lectures. And following discussions with Dean Sobukwe and other members of the family, they started the Robert Sobukwe Trust. Through this, the Robert Sobukwe Trust, the University of Fort Hare, and the Steve Legal Foundation have together organized so far 10 memorial lectures on Robert Sobukwe. While Mama Sobukwe could not attend these lectures, through her children and grandchildren, she was always present at those lectures. Until fairly recently, Pioli Sol and I had been planning another visit to Mama Sobukwe. However, sadly, in June 2016, my friend Pioli passed away before we could spend another happy day with our mother. And now, Mama Sobukwe has left us. Thank you, Mama Sobukwe, for all your sacrifices and work, and for being a pillar of strength to your husband. You are also a pillar of strength for us who are younger than you, who have also lost their husbands to the struggle. Thank you for the guidance and leadership. Through your example, we gathered strength. Through your examples, we gathered strength to continue on to the ultimate victory. In closing, I leave an important message to the family of Mama. Now that Mama is no more, please ensure that the Sobukwe legacy continues. No one will do this except yourselves. No one, I want to repeat, no one except yourselves. Please, keep that in mind. Psalm 48, verse 14. Yena uyakusikhaba amazwi lawo endishawo.
Is yekeli analu mteti na kitele topi yekeli kama tota kugelu mtengu kusumtema kala mastini wa mshaba kusantala mastini wa mshaba kusantala tota wala somtopege zatina teta getu besini sisiti umtolo wekule wa siswa yekeli tota ila msebenzi zatina city culture se Afrika maikambe yekeli tota nebabalina yafingana yalo tokotebula mshanje bekhola sana ngekumkani ikumkaleto yetababweni kuba umthetho wase-Afrika uyawisa umthetho wasemzini yalo isizwe sase-Afrika sidelelekile amadoda kuba indoda ethatha ibhunga yathenga umsebenzi.
Thank you very much. I would like, as I've said it, to thank Mama Sobukwe's children, Militwa and Dini, who agreed that our being together here should proceed after there was that problem that we all realized. I went to speak to them, pleaded with them to say, let us not allow such actions to overrun our good intentions, that of burying our mother and being buried by the Africans, by the Africanists, by our Africa folks. Ngiyabonga inhlonipho elinginikeze yona navuma ukuthi ngimthole phansi sekhala inyembezi ngakungenisa wangena wavuma. Ngiyabonga. Many things have been said about our mother, Mother Thokozani, and I do not want to repeat, except just in passing, mention one or two things that have pleased people now and again. Mama Zondeni was a mobilizer of fellow women to struggle to support the struggle of their husbands and themselves against secular terrorism in this country. If you want to get that information, you can get info Zabansundu, March 18, 1988. You will find her being quoted when he was speaking and mobilizing fellow women in PE. I also have to say, at the personal level, in 1964, when the secular colonial security forces had bombed us in Maseru, and I was one of the victims, we were in the hospital for 3.5 months with Salu Soizwapi, and Mama Zondeni appeared at the hospital to visit us, Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Maseru, to come and comfort us. I will not forget that. And lastly, this is not known even by most of the members of the PAC that we use Mama Sobukwe as a courier between the top leadership of the PAC and Sobukwe when Sobukwe was either in prison or in detention. Having said that, I just also want to take it easy for you, just to bring you certain quotations that will make you understand Mama Zondeni and the relationship that existed between her and Mangaliso Sobukwe. She used to call Mangaliso Sobukwe Mangi. I have come to know what a great woman you are, the true embodiment of the African womanhood. That was Mangaliso Sobukwe saying those words to Zondeni in 1967. The true embodiment of African womanhood. The Sunday Times of the 2nd January 200 had this to say: love apart, not many wives have seen a clause written into law to keep their husband in jail. It happened to Veronica and Robert Sobukwe. Unkosikazi Sobukwe kwintetho yakhe ukuzazeka unkosikazi kule asoloko ayemene nabayeni bawo ekuzabalazeni inkululeko yazana. Info March 18, 1988. I'm giving you these few quotations which are available in order that you can appreciate the lady we are putting down today. To me, you are the mother. May I then probably just look at some of the issues that are pertaining to our neo-colonial state, which is called South Africa. I will then start with the obvious thing that some of us have sometimes are not aware of. In an encounter between the late former President Banda of Malawi, Dr. Kamuzu Banda, and Senator Wellesley during their mutual confrontation over the Federation of Southern Rhodesia is instructive in this case. Dr. Kamuzu Banda said to Wellesley, I quote, "You are just an engine driver, and I am a medical doctor. I know when something is dead, the Federation is dead," end of the quote. Let us then not mince our words, as the daughters of Africa. South Africa is today operating under structural and austerity programs with the support and inducement by the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. The financial and economic stress this country is under has been brought about by us, the liberation movement, and the political and professional elites of this country. As I have said before, these elites in the public sector in particular, plus their kindred in the private sector, have built themselves their Noah's Ark, and they are going to survive the immiseration trial. And because these elites are in the Titanic, occupy the upper deck, they have access to any warning about the impending economic and political disaster. They have also immediate access to safety livelihoods. Scandalous political and economic management at the state level has been taking place in front of our wide-open eyes. But loyalty to our leaders, to our political parties, to our cronies have numbed us from reacting and revolting. When the masses revolt, we merely say these are service delivery protests. We cannot be told convincingly that the government and the ruling political and professional elite have not been aware of the looting that has been taking place both within the state-owned enterprises and public service and local government spheres. Senior officials in all these institutions are government or party appointees, and during the general conferences in the past, President Zuma used always to call upon white capital to invest in the ANC. The government has politicized capitalism in this country by spending billions of rands through its ever fraudulent purchasing engagement. This is where the centrality of looting takes place. The private capital sector is known to be sitting or seated on billions of rands that is not willing to invest in this country. It is a complete mockery when you see the same captains of industry in their black suits going abroad with our ministers of finance to go and look for foreign investment when they are not ready to invest their money in this country. It is important to remember and to know that the white business community in this country is investing billions and billions outside this country rather than investing here. It is also important to know that in this country, white sector groups are merely training their children and ensuring that after they finish their education, they go abroad. And we are therefore seeing a situation whereby this is taking place, but we are not doing anything about it. Sometimes in the past, the South African Airways was transferred from the Ministry of Public Enterprises to Treasury. But what came out of that? And sometime in the past, also the Deputy President, who was Ramaphosa of the country, was delegated responsibility to turn around the state-owned companies. What came out of this? I want to emphasize this point for Africa, that people are behaving as if the loot that is taking place at the state enterprises is a new farm. Now I am challenging our president to say he was given a responsibility to turn around this. He cannot therefore pretend today to say he did not see what was happening there. That is my challenge. We are being drowned or even doped with the new dawn option. But what was happening during the night before the new dawn and who was responsible for it. When are we going to be told the truth? And who is responsible? And those responsible must come out, if anything, and beg forgiveness from us. That is what is wanted. To us, the Hockey Horse New Deal or DOM is nothing but a hocus-pocus, neoliberal tradition. Looking at the overall picture of the social, economic, political governance crisis facing the country, the liberation movement must take full responsibility for this crisis. Here I include the PAC, the ANC, ASAPO, Black Culture, etc. The ANC, of course, is the ruling party, and therefore it must take full responsibility in this regard. What we're also saying here is that this is an African country, and the African forces are the ones that are supposed to rally with all progressive social forces in order to change, to transform, not just the economy, but the entire social order that exists in this country. And nobody else is going to do that for us but ourselves. And when we're talking about the transformation of this country, we're talking about it substantially, culturally, economically, and otherwise. This country appears, and it cannot be seen to be an African country culturally. If you wake up in the morning and you look at the map of this country, start for instance along the coast, so Blanca Bay is only Namako Land that is not owned by the settler. Up to Richards Bay is all, and we know one thing, is that when you name something, you create a relationship. And most of that relationship is a relationship of ownership. So the more we look at the map of our country, we see the names, how it was named. We must be aware that that is in fact a symbol, a description, a demonstration as to who owns it. You name it, you establish a relationship with it, and that relationship is ownership relationship. We have already talked about our mother here, Zondeni, as we have already indicated. We've already thanked the children for what they have done, and many other people. However, there are a couple of things that are important for us to add in terms of our demand. Here, what we are going to be emphasizing is that we declare this, and accordingly, Situma Usile Ramoko Utazen, Utunywa Yiki. Firstly, we need to change the Constitution to provide for a division of the property regime into two types of property, common property and the private property. And land should belong to the common property, and therefore it's available to all the Africans in this country without pay. Because it's not a produced product, it cannot be bought and sold. And it is important here for Africa to realize one fundamental thing. What faces this country is much more fundamental than what appears from the slogan expropriation without compensation. The question of resolving the national land and agrarian question are fundamental in the decolonization of this country. When you decolonize the country, you actually decolonize also the ownership of the land, because you can't decolonize a nation, a country, without the land being part and parcel of that decolonization process. So the fundamental thing that we are, and we should be after, is not just a question of expropriation, but it's a question of restorative justice, restoring the land, to the African people who have been decolonized. restoring the land to become the common property of the people, the African people in this country. May I also emphasize one mistaken issue with regard to the issue of the land. The ruling party, the president of the ruling party, says this shall be done in a manner that will not disturb food production or the economy. The reverend gentleman who spoke sometime had a very beautiful response to this. Let us put it in no uncertain terms for Africa. The question of restoration of the land as part of the colonization in this country is not an economic issue, it is a political issue. We are resolving a political outstanding issue, not an economic issue. Those that were around in the 50s and early 60s, when there was the case for liberation of the continent of Africa, liberals, both in Africa as well as in Europe, used to say, no, you must go for economic development first before you get your political independence. This is the same equivalence today that we shall do nothing about the land unless we are sure that the economy will not be affected. Nkrumah came out with the slogan. As a result of that, seek ye the political kingdom, all else shall follow. If you have political power, the political muscles, you turn them into an instrument that you can utilize to deal with the issues of economy, to deal with the issues of culture and other aspects. Without that instrument, the political power, you are unable to do the rest. That's what Nkrumah was saying. Similarly, Sobukwe has already reported when he dealt with the question that we prefer starvation in freedom than opulence in slavery. So that, Africa, should be our point of departure with regard to. So the first thing, therefore, the constitution of this country must be changed to reflect that. And also, fundamentally, the constitution of this country should be in a position to declare that this is an African country, culturally, historically, etc., and it belongs to the African people. And secondly, the constitution of this country should make it very clear that any property rights that were held during the colonial days has no merit in the post-colonial period. Any property rights that accrued during the colonial days have got no merit in the post-colonial days. Those who are lawyers in the law of contract, they will tell you, he who possesses an improper property in the goods or services can pass none. So if their ownership was improper, was not just, they will not be in a position to pass any just and proper right to land. That is the fundamental issue that our Constitution should spell out in no uncertain terms. The other area that the Constitution must address is our electoral system. We cannot cooperate with this proportional system anymore. It is important that we move into a much more constituency-based electoral system, with much more power being given to the people at the constitutional level, not only during the time of elections, but also during the time when budgets are being discussed, when development projects are being discussed, when monies are being distributed. The power of the people at the local level must be enhanced, and that must be sanctioned by our Constitution. Further, our Constitution must allow the public to elect the President of the country directly. It is a big lie to say, for instance, President Zuma was elected by the people of South Africa. It's wrong. We did not. The people of South Africa elected the ANC. It was the ANC that elected President Zuma. So in no way can he claim, as an example, that he was elected by the people of South Africa. That's a lie. And it's important that lies like those should always be told. So we want a situation whereby we are in a position to directly elect our own president. That will enable more different sons and daughters of the country to stand and be counted. That will enable more different sons and daughters of the country to be considered for the position of president. Furthermore, the Constitution must be in a position to indicate like that the president now must not have these powers that will be given in election, in appointments of ministers, appointments of public service, and heads of institutions. We have seen how such power can corrupt. We've seen how much such power can destroy the country. We've seen how such power can destroy the state and the government. We must, therefore, be in the position to control completely. We are asking. We are also saying, therefore, we must team up the size of the state, including the size of the provinces, local government, etc. In this way, we are saying, Situma Ramaphosa to do those things. We are not ready to be told by him or to be asked by him, Tumamina. Sikutuma uyaphi yokwenzani wenzela ubani. Uzothuka ibona abantu abakutshelayo funa uye endaweni ethile uyokwenza into ethile then uzokwazi-ke ukuthi empeleni uthuliwe. Sisho-ke sithi sifuna manje uMamaphosa ayokwenza lokho esimthume kona. Ngifuna ukuqeda ngokuthi siyabonga. Sibonga umama wethu ukuthi ahambe kahle uyobabulisa o-Ebenia Mshukini, uyobabulisa uMasipali Dibalo, uyobabulisa uManako Bheki, uyobabulisa oNongo Boy. Ababulise bonke batshele ukuthi siyazama. We are sure that we are going to liberate the country to become truly an African country, culturally, economically, politically. I thank you.
Just before this umfundisi zawukela nje utata Pityana, Professor Pityana, nawe tata ulayibholi wabaso ukwabize nje ngidlulise ii-messages zenu. Mawuzolani Mkhiva, Secretary General ye-Controlesa. Mawuzolani Mkhiva. Oh, andisiboni isandla sakho. Prof.
Yabulela badifumane ithuba lwakho kulo msebenzi ondiliseke kangakanana kamama uSobukwe. Isikhumbuze isizathu sokuba sibe lapha. Esokuqala ukukhapha umama uSobukwe simseke ukhaya lakhe lokugqibela. Esibini simbulele ngemisebenzi yakhe, simthembise ukuba
ubomi bakhe kwawusoloko kunendima ebomini bethu. Okwesithathu, basithuthuzele usapho lwakhe, sivelane nalo ngalo msebenzi siwenza ngeli xesha ilifu lobumnyama likhoyo phakathi kwakho ngeli xesha. Mna namhlanje ndicelwe ndisisithunywa kabini. Okokuqala ndicelwe nguProfesa Gabiside ongakwaziyo ukuphumelela. Ukuba ndimxelele uxolo wawuthe kanti kukho ungavisisani ngexesha phambi ulapha ngalo. Andicele ndibulele iValley University of Technology nge-association enayo nomama Sobukwe kuba bamthejize ngewonga lokuba i-honorary doctorate yakhona kulo nyaka. Into ke leyo ebalulekileyo kwiyunivesithi leyo nakwezinye ngoba ivuma indima yakhe ebomini babo ube yi-inspiration kubantwana abasafundayo nabanye abasakhasayo. So lokuqala ke ndicela uProfessor Zide uxolo kwaye ngabanga ukuba akwazi ubakho phakathi kwethu. Okwesibini ndimele ke apha umbutho ekuthiwa i-National Foundations Dialogue Initiative. Endicebe into yokuba kwezi foundations zihlangeneyo zisebenzela ukuba abantu beli lizwe bakwazi ilizwi labo livakale, balenzele litsole ngobomi babo kweli lizwe labo. Phakathi kwezo foundations ke kukho neSobukwe Trust ekolo ukuba igama lakaSobukwe nendima kaSobukwe ne-example kaSobukwe isoloko ikhona phakathi kwethu, ingaze ilibaleke. Sisoloko sikhumbuzana ukuba kanene indima yakaHlathi nekhaya lakhe kwimbali yelizwe ithini na kanye kanye. So the legacy of the Sobukwe name must never be forgotten. So xa sisebenza kunye size-National Foundations Dialogue Initiative, senzela laa nto uLewe ithetha apha kwenzela intoba the hidden voices, the alternative voices, the voices of the ordinary people, the voices of the powerless, must actually be heard where it matters most. And that as South Africans, we take responsibility for the future of our country. And that this responsibility is not just something that happens once every 5 years, as a vote die. It actually happens every day when we assess Umbetu Unjani now. So the video what is being said here today, in our country these days, people otherwise don't say these things. And they say them when they bid farewell to loved ones. What we really hope will happen is that these things will be said by the people of the country without fear or favor, day by day. Because that's the only way in which we are going to correct our country. That's the only way in which we're going to be responsible about our vote. What is it that we vote for? That's the only way in which we can begin to take responsibility for shaping our country every day of our lives. So the National Foundation's Dialogue Initiative, Lilinge, their foundations, to try to say whatever happened before, for God's sake, must never happen again. And that we begin to take responsibility for shaping our country. That ultimately we will have nobody to blame but ourselves when things fall apart in our country. And the way in which we think this is going to happen is to enable, encourage the voices of our people to be heard. And that the people must actually speak out, especially those who are on the margins of history in our country. Men, women, the poor, the indigent, that these are the voices that so often get drowned out by those who have louder voices and indeed who have more power behind them, behind their voices. And these are the voices we need to hear. So today, Civil National Foundation's Dialogue Initiative, we exist in order that the voices of the people who matter are heard. Ambakashe Mama Zondeni Veronica Sobukwe, masibulele ngendima yakho oyidlalayo phakathi kwethu nekhaya olakhileyo lakwahlathi emamfeneni. Sibulele nabantwana bakho obakhulisileyo ukwenzela nokuba kuthi emva kwenu kubekho imbewu efakiweyo nekhulayo iyakwenza indima entsha. May I begin only to say that the legacy of Sobukwe must never die.
Umphethe inkqubo wanomsebenzi wokukhapha umama wesizwe. Ithathe elithuba ndibulise usekela mongameli weli lomdibaniso kwawo umabuza. Ndibulise abaphathiswa bakarhulumente kazwelonke. Ndibulise u-acting premier Mama Uthunyiswa. Ndibulise uSpeaker wephondo. Ndibulise the former presidents, the PAC ezikhoyo apha. Ndibulise the leadership collective and membership of the PAC present here. Ndibulise abefundisi no-bishop abakhoyo apha namhlanje. Ndandule ngobulisa usapho lwabaSobukwe. Ngakumbi nangakumbi abantwana bakamama uSobukwe notata uSobukwe nabazukulwana nezizukulwana. Ndiyalibulisa nonke egameni lesihlwele sasemhlabuhlangeni. Tahuni, Tamaku, ndithunywa sisikhokelo sabantwana begazi, iinkokheli zemveli kweli lizwe. Sisithi namhlanje siyabona silozele into yokubana umama wesizwe ukhothamile. Silapha ke sizokuvakalisa amazwi ovelwa kusapho lwamamfene ohlathi olisa ojambasi. Sisenza kananjalo nakusapho lakwakwabo umama apho azalwa khona kaMathe kwaZulu. Okokuqala sithi akuhlanga lungehliyo lungaqhela kwehla. sizothi kuni mzokwasobukwe lalani ngeneba izikumkani inkosi nenkokheli zelizwe zithi ngethuba lokulahleka kwenu sisikhukukazi esingaphikwa ngqingqwa esamayo kwamhlafunele kweli lizwe sathi sikolele udingilihlo okokubana abantwana beli lizwe bahlale phantsi kwamagumngedle namagushenqe oorhulumente boqondogwirha. Silapha ke namhlanje singumbutho weenkosi zasemhlabuhlangene sizothi sizomkhahlela umama simnike imbeko yakhe yokugqibela sithi singabantu baseMzantsi Afrika sisonke siyamhlonipha umama ngemisebenzi emihle asenzele yona. Kuwe sisimiliswa nakuwe thina lesizwe nakuni thethani isizwe sithi bantwana basekhaya amakhosi eli lizwe anani niqine nifunge ningajiki nicela bazalweni nithi idaba lethu lokubuyisela umhlaba wethu futhi njengabaniniwo lisaqhubeka kwaye asizuyeka de umhlaba ube sentendeni yezandla zethu. Xa ndizawuhlala phantsi ngoba ixesha sekuthathwe zizinja ndiyafuna into yokubana sithi sizinkosi siqwalasele siyayibona into eyenzekayo elizweni lakokwethu. Umbutho we-PAC is the property of this nation. Umbutho we-PAC is the asset of our people. Now, we do not like what we see happening. This organization does not belong to its leaders. Its leaders are supposed to serve the members and the people of this country. As traditional leaders, we cannot sit back and allow this chaos to happen unattended. We have taken a decision as Zondeni to engage the leadership of the PAC. We have met all the four factions of the PAC already, and we have told them this thing needs to come to a stop because we believe that the management of the national question cannot happen without a meaningful contribution of the PAC. We call upon the leadership of the PAC to take its rightful place in the politics of our country. You were the first people as an organization to raise the issue of the return of the land to the African majority. You were the first people to call for the unity of Africans. Where are you now? The question we are asking is, where are you now? We are making a candid call at Controlesa. And we are saying to all the factions of the PAC, we are summoning them from Kulu Kwandelele Kukumkani Makosonge. Nalapho sifuna into yobana siyothetha nani ngoba siyabona into yobana anikwazi ukuzimanya ngokunokweni. Thina ke singabantwana begazi sizawunimanya ngethoba nithanda ningathanda. Xa ndizawuhlala phantsi i-PAC mayazi into yobana zii-elections lonyazayo. Ungangaba ke nilimele kukruthakhruthana ngethambo nizawushiyeka abantwana bakwethu. Siqhube thina sibheke phambili senza ilinge
kutshintsha kwelizwe sityiswa amagwinya aphekwe ngamafutha enyama kodwa inyama izibuthi iyayeka loo nto sisizukulwana samafethu lena sinikwa amagwinya elizweni lethu ninzi undonakele apha ofuna into yokubana i-PAC ithathe isikhokelo sayo siyacela into yokubana sisebenzisane nathi kuloo ikontrolesa siyamkhulula umama sithi umuntu uqinile amadinga waphezulu makahambe aye kwele milonde ayokuthetha nesilwele nesinyanya sethu axele into yokubana umzamo wozalazela into yokubana utyeni nomhlaba wethu kumele kuthi uqale phantsi ngokwaye asizuyiyeka intsime phila ngoba phakade mama phila ngoba phakade enkosi
manipulezele baba sifuna ukukhuleka utata umkhiva betuvafundisa nje please help us to wrap up this program we speak utata wefamily ozakwenza umbulelo ozakwenza ne-announcements
first want to recognize the family. Ndokala ngifuna ukurecognize ifamily abafundisi the Pan-Africanist Congress, which is the organization Kamama, members of the Black Consciousness Movement, who for many years have worked very closely with Sobukwe, to particularly recognize a comrade, collaborator, who in 1978, Sobukwe, Ashona. I was 25, going on to 26. He was 26, going on to 27. Comrade Ishmael Mukaveli. These are the two young people who were very young. The leadership of our movements were either in prison, others had been killed, others had been exiled, and Sobukwe was shown up as Oskati. And people believed Kuti, because of the prevailing situation, Sobukwe will not get a proper funeral in Fanel. And Mina, the comrade Ishmael Mukaveli, went to Himal. We drove the whole night, arrived at 5, spent about 20 minutes in Lumama, and we said, we are young people who are here to come and organize a funeral at We talked to Umama. Umama looked at us and tears came to her eyes. She says, who's the Abafana Abaningu? Where are elderly people? Of course, she corrected herself. She said, Nabe Usefania, Mtupi Mukona, and others. Maybe they would have come through even if the government had put cannons on the road. And we explained to her, she said, I'm so thankful. I know Kuti Sobukwe will get the funeral he deserved, and from there we made all the arrangements. Came a traveling and gave Sobukwe the funeral he deserved. That had a tremendous Umama she literally adopted Nina, no comrade Ismail, as her children. Everybody who has come to Frafrinet, everybody who has gone to any place she has been in, they say she will talk about everything, and someone out of the blue should say, Auntie Abantwana Bambona, Bezanini, Opu Ismail, Opu Laibon. And it became a daily refrain that she wanted to see her children. It was difficult for us to make contact with her. I can't tell you what Mama did. As other people have already explained that, when we were in Soweto in a memorial, one comrade who was a commander of the Upper Forces, he says we have always had so many problems in the PAC. He explained how Umama came to Botswana to come and talk to comrades to resolve the problem. We know she did not go with a normal passport. We know she did not go with the approval of the government, but she went because she wanted freedom. Yabantu, Base Azania. Another person, Prof. Kumala, he spoke about how she happened in Maseru after they were attacked. She was always working. She was working behind the scenes. She did not ask for publicity. And the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, when other people said, Sifuna 17,000 rand, Sifuna loku, Umama Sobukwe did not ask for anything for herself. She said, refurbish the school. She said, help the community. And this represented a revolutionary woman. She didn't hear about the revolution. She was part of the revolution. You will ask a question, why Amasiwa? She's not the first person not to be known. She's not the first person not to get attention. Yabantu. I'll use the analogy of the United States. Oh, Malcolm X, no, Dr. King, were killed almost at the same time. They were black leaders, they were black people, but their messages were not exactly the same. Because of the safety that they felt that the message that Dr. King provided, they were willing to at least compromise and accept to Dr. King. They found foundations for him. They had holidays for him. They had literally everything upon how good was a non-violent message. Malcolm X was not a violent man. He only preached self-defense. He only preached that in their struggle for self-determination, and the right to get, the right to defend the American states, the American leadership, the American clergy. Nobody wanted to talk about Malcolm X. Malcolm X arose from the corners of New York, the corners of Los Angeles, the corners of Abantu. Similarly, I know Zondeni Veronica because she represented people, because she said those things which people wanted to hear. I sincerely believe, nobody has prescribed a program of Pan-Africanism in my university. But every time when you hear the students talking, they talk about the philosophy, the outlook, Nobody has prescribed a real program, real consciousness, but go to any university, they talk about the philosophy, the outlook, as Steve Biko. Our people will rouse their own leaders. Our people will talk about their own leaders. They will refuse the sanitation of their leaders. They will refuse because they make other people uncomfortable. Sobukwe preached a powerful message. He said,
when they say we are reasonable, when they say we are good, when they say sikhuluma kakuhle, you have to start doubting us, because the enemy doesn't say those kind of things about somebody they are at war with. So the heroes we must ask ourselves whether those heroes represent our people. He wasn't preaching the gospel of reasonableness, because his gospel was the gospel of liberating abantu. If you pour oil emanzini, that water cannot be pure. He wasn't talking half-truths. Bakuluma iqiniso iphelele, bakuluma inkululeko iphelele. Uma athi inkululeko ngoku, inkululeko ngoku, inkululeko ngoku, inkululeko ngoku, inkululeko ngoku. If you think you did not see that freedom, Sobukwe has seen that freedom in us. Had to happen in a lifetime of his children. That freedom had to happen in a lifetime of Umama Zondeni. She's without equal, because she wasn't preaching herself, she was preaching the freedom of her people. I was talking to somebody in Johannesburg, White City, almost directly opposite Lawe. This person put me. It's not somebody also die. What? They are only clear. It's South Africa today, but it will soon be Azania. It is South Africa today, but people will know that real heroes walk into this world. Steve Biko walked in Azania. Uma Sobukwe walked in Azania. It will be definitely Azania tomorrow.
Good people, you would really appreciate in the family last tribute, my Mayans. We should allow the family to make that tribute. I'm calling upon Abakwamate, I'm calling upon Ufiki, and I'm calling upon our Chablan, Bazowenza, a tribute. Police, immediately she sends the announcements, Sautela benediction, Osba.
Ugogo wasifundisa ubuntu, wasifundisa ukuthi sizazi ukusiphuma. One of the things that Abamathe kade beyenza that we never realized was there were 4 sisters. From the 4 sisters, one was in Eastern Cape, KZN, Gauteng, 2 of them. They were moving us around as youngsters. Moving us around allowed us to learn more about South Africa. Moving us around allowed us to learn more about the people that I see in this room right now. Ugogo today, some of us were strong. Some of us today, she asked us the question, myself and one of my cousins, Wabuza White, have you visited your grandfather's cell? Have you visited his house in Robben Island? When I went with my young one to Robben Island to visit the place where our grandfather was, I was very sad, because When I walked into that place, I realized what Ugogo was going through all the time. Every time when she went to go and visit Unkulu Sobukwe with Malumudi, with Mamufik, that made me very sad as a young person to realize what they had to go through. So anybody who wants to understand more about Unkulu, I would encourage you, go there, visit and understand who he was and where we need to be. When I say where we need to be, one of the things that Unkulu did, and Ugogo was asking us, are you learning anything for today that will help you tomorrow? Are you learning anything tomorrow that will help the child next door to be free? Are you learning anything today that will help Mama or sister down the street to be somebody as well? Now, what does it mean? It means that we as African kids, those of us who are my age, I'm asking you, Unkulu Sobukwe, one of the things that they feared the most, he was very learned. Not because he studied all the time, he was reading constantly. That allowed him to gain more knowledge. We will get the land back. But the question is, sizoyithola, sinjani? Kumele siyithole sikhali bakwethu. Kumele siyithole sazi we are sitting in a situation where no one can touch us. Most of us right now, in where we work, people who of color do not want us. Because we are taking after Unkulu, we are taking after Ugogo, who are people who are learned. We are learning new things constantly. People of color do not see us. When they describe us, we are described as stubborn. Whilst people of color are being described as very fair. When they describe us as you are stupid. When people of color who are very stupid are described as brilliant. But that is not us. I grew up Kamate, as I said, I grew up Asobu. Most of you do not know me. I've been to Africa so many times, not because I was trying to get publicity, because I was trying to come back home, learn more, learn who I am and who I need to be. I'm asking those ones. As you can see, most of the people that came before me, I'm not being disrespectful to Andabadal. Most of them are 50 plus. Azania is us. Azania is anybody who is at my age right now. Our body who are standing here, they sacrifice their lives to free us. What does it mean? It means we need to continue. Whether you are 20, you are 24, you are 40, we need to continue and get where we need to be. Ugogo, I cannot never call her by name. I call her Ugogo. She will always ask in the morning when I phone her. Don't phone me after 11, I'm busy. This is somebody who's 85, 90 something, is busy after 11. But because of Ugogo, I love her, and I'm not the only one. I've met so many people here, I've seen so many people who have come to appreciate Ugogo. And I mean, I tell you, wherever you are, if you're a mama, you have a child, if you're a father who has a child, I am asking you to continue their legacy. Advise them, ask them to learn. Ask them to learn more. We are strong, we are Africa, we are Zambia. Thank you very much.
Master Leger, a member of the family, to make announcements. Bear with the family on this one. The cemetery is how we are going. The cemetery that we are going to go to, it's so difficult walking amongst those graves. They are literally close to one another. The whole cemetery is so full of the graves that are closely knitted into one another, such that there is no roads between the graves. With so many people, the likelihood is that some of those graves will be trampled upon. Some of those stones might be broken. So it is a request that everybody remains here. We eat here, we do everything here, whilst the family and the church goes to the cemetery. This is a special.
I'm not late. Okay. Ella? Ella? I'm lashed.